Hey, it's Flango. Today I'm going to start a series type thing where I go over all the patch notes when they are released, and I talk about the implications of the patch notes on the game. I'll call this patch rundown. So here's obviously there's no numbers. The biggest change that happened was that all the zero cost 10 attack cards. Oh, I'm searching mana. All the zero cost 10 attack cards have now become 9 attack cards. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about how this impacts the game and the meta overall. So, first of all, um, I think the most obvious thing is to check out the HP. Well, I guess we should talk about which ones were nerfed. So that's Icarus, Crabulus, Lava Golem, and Griffin. Lesser Vampire was not nerfed, essentially making it one of the top tier cards now. So immediately I'm seeing that a lot of these cards, if we go to HP 10, I wish there was a way to like see the stats before you hover something. Anyways, HP 10. So these cards used to kill. Oh, Here we go. These cards used to kill Paladin, Flame Lord, Skeleton Warrior, Mummy, Bottom Feeder, and that's it. Okay. Um. Yeah. So basically that. This isn't changing too much in that sense. Most of these cards aren't super big. The ones I can specifically think of that see use are Skeleton Warrior and Bottom Feeder and Decaying Mummy. But what's interesting is that, I mean, Decaying Mummy, if you don't kill it, then like you're essentially losing the game against an Undying deck, arguably. Depends on the way the deck is built, but it could be like game losing. Same thing with Bottom Feeder. This is going to mean that a lot more cards won't get killed so easily, or a lot more Bottom Feeders, right? So this means that you can more safely get to late game with Aqua decks, because you're not super scared anymore about anything really. Um, and Skeleton Warrior, I mean, usually it's gonna die anyways, but it does help that it doesn't die in one turn to stuff like Griffin anymore. And I don't see Flame Lord too often, but I mean, it is a card that could maybe be used more now that it survives more things. Okay, now back to these cards that are being nerfed. So, Crabulus probably doesn't care that much because it already does 15 attack on Ocean. Amphibious doesn't say that, but I'm almost certain it's the case. As far as I remember, it's always been the case. Icarus, I mean, that's just a huge nerf to Icarus. I think already it was having a lot of difficulty competing with Griffin because Griffin had more health. Now that neither of them are really all that great, I guess Icarus might be the better one because it has Demon Synergy, whereas Griffin admittedly isn't that good. I used to use Griffin a lot to snipe the Sharks and to snipe, what's that mana card? Let me find it. This one, Ephemeral Garden. So Griffin snipes Ephemeral Garden a turn later now, right? Maybe it doesn't. Well, it depends. On Oasis, it snipes it a turn later. But off of Oasis, 15 becomes 13, becomes 11, becomes 9. So it actually doesn't change that, which is interesting. But yeah, I think, so a lot of control decks, like the decks that used to run these cards, I mean, Lava Golem, this is just a huge nerf to Volcano King, or Volcano in general, which already was very not seeing play. Lava Golem now is a lot weaker in aggro too. Crabulus, same thing. Yeah, I guess the decks that mattered here are, well, Aqua is losing 1 point of damage. Let's actually look at things with 15 HP, because I think that could be real irrelevant. Yeah, so Crabulus can no longer just trade off for Castle Knight or for Cephalopod. That could be a big one. Or for Ephemeral Garden. Or for Swamp Terror. Oh, or for Psycho Fiend. Crazy. And you used to be able to put Wraithblade on to kill one of these cards, specifically Dragon Servant, which you can't do anymore. Might actually be a buff to Dragon Servant, but I think it's kind of I can't think of the word, but niche. There you go. So yeah, back to the cards that we're talking about. So I think, yeah, the decks that are gonna care. I mean, obviously Demon if it's running Icarus, and Crabulus for Aqua. But Aqua gets the added bonus that like nobody's gonna hit their Shark with Griffin, so Aqua might be equal here. This is a nerf to Scorch decks, but I don't know how big because Scorch decks don't usually go very far with their Lava Golems. Sometimes they kill mana E cards, but we'll see. Sometimes they'll kill 10 cost cards. It's true. Actually, this thing has bonus on Scorch, so it does actually suffer the problem of not being able to kill all those 15 attack cards from earlier. Which, again, if we go to um, those cards are therefore getting a buff. And Cephalopod is actually the big one. And obviously Psycho Fiend. And so is Swamp Terror. So, honestly, so is Ephemeral Garden. But Ephemeral Garden is always less health anyways. So anyways, it's mainly the Swamp Terror, the Castle Knight, and the Cephalopod, and the Psycho Fiend. So these force cards are going to be harder to deal with. Um, we'll see that probably rise in use. Force is already one of the stronger cards. Castle Knight will definitely be buffed by this because it's directly competing with a lot of those cards. And Swamp Terror, same idea. I mean, if you can't shut it down early, it's very strong. So these two cards here are really happy from this nerf. And so that means, like, you used to be able to use Lava Golem as like a temporary defense sort of mechanism, put it by the king, keep yourself alive, all that. But now it's probably not going to be quite as good. And yeah, overall, I think this will encourage people to spend their mana, to get and spend mana quicker. Because these cards used to be like the epitome of free, right? These cards used to be awesome. They could trade for a lot of things. Could slap a Wraithblade on them, and they could actually be basically a mana, like a card that costs mana. I'm not saying they suck now, but they're definitely worse, right? Why would you run a Lava Golem over a Cerberus? I mean, you're only trading one attack now. So you'd have to look into what has 14 attack and what you're scared of, or 14 health and what you're scared of. Lesser Vampire again now is getting buffed by this because it's, well, not buffed, but it doesn't have to compete anymore. It already heals itself. So arguably Lesser Vampire is just better than Golem now, or Lava Golem now. Unless of course, like, you're unscorched. Yeah. So it is a really, really interesting nerf. You used to be able to run Griffin and it just protected you from a lot of cards. That number of cards is a lot less. Same thing with Lava Golem. But anyways, let's get to the very final thing. And I'm wondering if this was intentional. This really, really, really hurts Manaless aggro. I can't think of how many turns on average it took Manaless aggro to kill somebody. I want to say it was probably 4 or something. So already that's 4 less damage, and that might be a big deal. Like, I don't know. I'd have to pull out my Manaless aggro decks and see. I guess I'm only using 3 of them. I might have been using 4. Let's pull it out. And I wonder if it was intended because I know for a fact that the devs aren't super happy with Manaless aggro, and they don't think it should be a strong deck. I personally really like it. I think it's kind of important for every game to have some sort of aggro to keep greedy decks in check. But oh well. So here's the manaless aggro I went with. I remember I put Chimera in it. Dream Drake is still fine in my opinion. In fact, I think it might even be better. So, okay, we're losing damage on Crabulus, Lava Golem, and Griffin. That's it. Yeah, I think that's a fair amount though, to be honest. Like, this isn't quite what I would run nowadays, but it's more or less still the same. And so, yeah, we are seeing that we're losing the ability to shut down mana cards with Griffin, Lava Golem, and Crabulus. We're also losing the ability to, well, to do more damage. This used to be 30 damage in 3, and now it would only be 27. So, I don't know. We'll have to see if the deck is still competitive. I think it should be, but I think it is still a hit to the deck, and I think that is important. I'm trying to see if I have another Manaless aggro. Maybe that is the one that I decided was tournament ready. I just feel like I would have chosen Dream Drake instead of this. Maybe not, because Dream Drake, I mean, you have to deal with dual zigzag. Anyways, the point is, my biggest worry is cards are like not so much that these cards are worthless, although they aren't as good anymore. It's really just that we are in an era where 15 health cards might be way stronger, especially ones that like to hang out on enemy territory, which would be specifically the giant Swamp Terror. That guy. This guy likes to be on enemy territory, turns it into his, but he always stands on enemy territory, right? But now that he doesn't die to stuff like Crabulus, he can be a little safer in an aggro deck, like Manaless aggro. And actually, that's what I'm starting to wonder. If my Manaless aggro is correct. Yeah. So here, let me throw together because that old one did work, but because of the nerfs, I think you should still run Geomancer. I think that's very good. But I think Swamp Terror is actually, like, you're only trading off one attack because this thing does an effective 8. And you're getting rid of some of their territory, which, again, like, there's chances that territory isn't important, but for now I think that would be good. We can still run Chimera as king, but go down here. I don't think you want Lava Golem anymore. Obviously you're running this. You're still running Griffin. You're still running Crabulus because of this thing. And then to be honest, I think that's why you run Lava Golem too. And then you don't run Icarus because, as far as I know, Demon doesn't get any bonus on Scorched. You could argue that Cerberus is better, but I don't think so. Not for aggro. And then, I mean, you could run Shark Warrior because that's what we do, but you could also run Wasp or Castle Knight. And then if you're going to run Castle Knight, then you can run... I'd like to run like a Nebulous type card, to be honest. There's got to be another card like that, right? Huh. Well, I can't seem to find it. So, like, you could run like one Parasitic Wasp. Whatever you choose. I mean, you could even run two Geomancer to do better on second half, which I think is probably the best. But anyways, the idea is just that, like, this might very realistically change decks like Manaless aggro, and it might very well improve. And actually, let's throw that deck together too. Aquadex, who as you know, we'll run the shark. No, not that, although they probably run that shark too. They could run Crabulus, but they definitely cut it now. But 100% of the time they should be running this card, which now survives longer. And then if we look at HP 15, they're 100% going to run Cephalopod because it survives a little bit better. Oh, a Manaless oh, I did throw Castle Knight in. So yeah, just basically thinking about these things. I was a little bit too verbose here. Like I always am, I restate my thesis 800 times. I'll try to keep the next patch notes a little bit shorter, but for now, this is what you got. Thanks for watching.